a couple of shots or so. First off, my corporal over here is carrying what was the most commonly used long arm during the war, the 1861 Springfield rifle musket, 58 caliber muzzle loader. A well-trained and practiced soldier was expected to be able to fire 3 aim shots a minute. However, the Army was not accustomed to providing enough ammunition for enough practice to allow that. Corporal Gailey is carrying an Enfield rifle musket. Not sure which model that is. 1861 Enfield rifle musket, British-made weapon. It was probably the second most common long arm. Also a muzzle loader, 58 caliber. It was used by both sides, a little more prevalent in the Confederacy because they had to import virtually everything that they used, and Great Britain was one of their more prominent providers. Private Dugan has a little lesser-known weapon known as a Zouave, made by the Remington Arms Company, the oldest manufacturer of firearms in this country. It's an 1861 model, probably. Say, it doesn't actually say. It was a privately made and usually privately purchased or purchased for state militias. There was a small amount of them used. Considered one of the finest, most accurate weapons of the period, but very few, if any, were actually purchased and issued by the federal government. It's also a 58 caliber. There's a pattern there. What I'm holding is one of the more common breech loaders of the era. This is, I'm not sure which particular model, because there were several, but is a Sharps falling block or dropping block breech loader, where they would have to charge the cartridge down the muzzle. I can load this one through the breech, and after we demonstrate a couple of these muzzle loaders, and I'll show you how this one was, demonstrate how this one was loaded. So, gentlemen, load. There were actually 9 steps involved in loading, including grabbing and handling cartridge, etc. I'm not going to go through all of that. Not prime. Load the hole, shoulder arms. Forward, march, left, wheel. Halt. Back. That's appreciated. Thank you. Back.
No.
All right. Prime. Ready? Shoulder. No. Ready. Come to the ready. Aim. At the right oblique. Right oblique. Fire.
Whoa.
Cover.
Jesus.
Arm. Shoulder. Arm. About. Hey. Forward. March. Right wheel. Up. Up, down. Hey. Toward that. Arm. Were all of you able to see the process in loading? Would you like us to go over it again? Would you like us to go over that again? Okay. Fine. Okay, one of the more common breech loaders of that era was the Sharps. It was made in 2 models, This one is a cavalry carbine, also used quite a bit by the artillery. As you can see, it's much shorter than the muskets, even the Zouave, and much easier to load. So the hammer to half cock, unlock, and drop the breech. A paper or linen cartridge would be inserted in the breech. Closing the lever, the breech block would cut off the end of the cartridge. Then a cap was placed upon the nipple or cone, brought to full cock, and then fired. As I said earlier, a well-trained and practiced soldier was expected to do 3 aim shots a minute. The muzzle loader with the breech loader, which is the sharps, particularly the sharps, 8 to 10 rounds per minute. It's also made in a longer full stock rifle version, most commonly used by sharpshooters. Any questions on those?
What caliber is that?
This particular sharps, yes, this particular one, the more modern ones are 54 caliber. At the time, they were mostly 52 caliber. Muzzle loaders were 50. The most common caliber was 58.
What's the range? Accuracy?
With the Springfield or Enfield, 500 to 800 yards, as compared to a smooth bore like the one on the table in there, which was 50 to 100 yards. One of the reasons there were so many casualties because we were still operating in the field at what has become known as Napoleonic tactics. Well, Napoleon didn't invent it, I think the Sumerians did. Masses of troops marching towards each other across open fields. And up until the 1850s, the primary long arms in most militaries were smoothbore muskets, firing either a round ball or what was known as bucket ball, a large round ball followed by, backed up by several small pistol balls, turns it into a giant shotgun. Well, this is very effective at close range. Now you've got a weapon that's effective at 5 times the distance or more. And so we ended up with plenty of exploded at the book. No Americans killed or wounded in the 4 years of our Civil War and all the rest of our wars combined. Up until recently, the statistics said around 600,000 total casualties. I've read recently that some new studies have been made in the last couple of years, and now they're saying, reviewing old records, that probably was closer to 750,000. For a frame of reference, that's about 10 times the size of that. Okay. Over here to my left is a 3-inch ordnance rifle, most common. In place, dress. 3-inch ordnance rifle was the most common field piece used by both sides during the war. It is, as you would guess, when I say 3-inch, and it's 3-inch bore. The originals were fully rifled. Several different things. They also had explosive rounds with timed fuses, canister, which turns a 3-inch cannon into a giant shotgun. And filled with musket balls. Musket balls. The 4 years of our Civil War was a very changing period. It was a boon to the firearms industry, and there were many new weapons that came out, many different styles. It was the beginning of the age of repeaters, and the most common sidearms carried in a holster at that time were revolvers. Colonel Colt had filed his first patents in 1836, the 5-shot 36 caliber revolver. Patterson progressed there through the years. Several other models including this, one of the most more common, the 1851 Navy model in 36 caliber. It was referred to as the Navy model because the engravings on the cylinder were of sailing ships. Now, for those who are not totally aware of it, no, we do not shoot bullets at each other when we're on the battlefield. Okay, we use blank rounds. You saw these gentlemen loading. It's simply powder, and we don't even allow our soldiers to remove the rammer from its position under the barrel because someone might forget to put it back. It becomes a powder propelled spear. Okay? We only use powder. We do not even take it down. Anything that goes down that barrel can become a projectile. I won't tell on you. Okay. In the pistols, we also shoot blank rounds. A blank round consists of black powder topped with dry cream of wheat. You see the white on the front of my cylinder. I use 30 grains of powder in either the 36 or the 44 caliber. But I want you to understand that even blank rounds can be dangerous. All right? Remember, this is only black powder and cream of wheat.
Damn.
So what's the accuracy as range for a 36 caliber?
That would be good.
Excuse me, what's the
Yeah, they go back.
accuracy for a 36 caliber?
You didn't drink all of that one.
Are you sure? Of course, that could have been the one I was
50
trying
yards
to cut.
would be a real good shot with a revolver of this type.
There we go.
I was going to say, remember that aluminum is a much stronger surface than the surface of your skin. And you see what I did to this pop can with just black powder and cream of wheat. Okay, now we're going to see what happens if I do it this way. If I do the same thing I did this morning. Not quite. This is why we have safety distances that we practice at all of our events. We are not allowed to shoot at each other. But again, simply black powder and cream of wheat. Love it. Any questions? I got 2 more rounds to burn off here. So.
I have a question.
Yes. All this stuff out here?
Yeah.
You mean things like the rocks and stuff?
Yeah.
You're talking about the wagon.
I believe so, yes. They probably were around before I was born. I'm not going to tell you when that was. It wasn't as long ago as some people think. No, I did not write it. All right, I got a couple more rounds to burn off. There we go. I thank you all for attending. Please feel free to stick around and visit our displays inside and ask more questions if you choose.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
I wanted to show you the stuff over here.
Right, Brian. Come on. That is the reproduction.
Guys have fun?